friends, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and welcome back. If you are returning, if you're new, welcome to my channel. We have a really fun and easy project today. So I showed these junk journaling cards made with book page and some pretty coffee dyed paper on my Instagram the other day, and I got lots of requests to do a quick and easy, or to do a tutorial, and it really is quick and easy. There's so many options for these, and I'm showing you several. So like this one, I didn't put a sticker. I did just a piece of ephemera from a digital kit. This one has a pretty sticker. I have used some Tim Holtz stamps for some sentiments. This one is actually special. I'm going to tell you about it in a second. Most of these are stitched around the edge, but I'm going to give you a no-sew option. If you don't want to sew, you can hand sew or use your sewing machine. But if you don't want to do that, I'm going to give you another option. So cute with the owl. And then I did a bunch with the stickers, and I kind of just used what I had on hand. And then I realized, not everybody has coffee dyed paper. So I want to encourage you, you could also use a pretty paper, scrapbook paper. This is digital paper from my Floral Delights kit that's on Etsy. And I think you could still, it's probably light enough, if you really did want to write or journal over top of it, you could print it out differently, more transparent, and definitely do that. A lot of the digital kits also have some neutrals or some backing papers, things like that. So you could also use that. So I wanted to show that, and these look really cute. I just love how they turned out. Of course, the coffee dyed paper is super, super nice. So I did some different stitching. I think my favorite just is the straight stitch, honestly. This is cute, and I did a zigzag. So again, I put different laces on the top. These I just used my hot glue and glued them down. You could sew them if you wanted to. You could use a Fabrifix kind of glue, something like that. So I'll talk about options as I craft, and then let me show you this one. So I hope you guys like it. I thought, well, if someone didn't have or didn't want to sew, what's an option? And I have this really old tool of my mom's. I'm not even sure what it's used for in sewing. I think it's to mark maybe a hem or where you're going to sew. I don't know. But it makes these super cute little tiny holes in the paper. And then I just took my pen and connected the dots on this side. On this side, I just drew a line. And even that looks good. So if you don't even have one of these or don't want to poke holes, you could just do little dashed lines, or even just a solid line around if you want to give it the appearance of stitching. So we're going to play with that and show you how I did all of that. So the first thing that you need is some book page. And this is an old Reader's Digest book that I'm slowly working through. I haven't even taken the time really to pull the strings and take the papers out nicely, because I'm just going to be tearing off this border, because I want to use the part of the paper with just the text. So this is pretty thin paper, so I'm going to do all 4 sheets together and just use my ruler and just tear it. And I wanted, because this paper, it's okay, it's a little fragile though, so I am using 2 pieces and just gluing them together. So there you go. If you have really sturdy book page, or if you're using something else, you may not need 2 layers. So we're going to start with just making 2 together. All right. Now I have already cut my paper, and I cut my paper because I wanted to get 4 pieces out of my coffee dyed paper, or my digital. So these are 3 3¾ by 5½, and it also fits the book page that I have to work with. You may need to adjust your measurements depending on what size journal card you want. You could certainly make these smaller. If your book page is larger and you want to do some big ones, you could do that. So I'm going to do one with the coffee dyed paper, and then one with this piece from that Floral Delights kit. I will link that for you if you want to take a look at that kit, or just the kits I have in my Etsy shop in the description. Before we start gluing and getting everything together, I want to make sure that I don't mess up stamping my sentiment, because if I do, I'll want to flip it over and I don't want it already glued down. So I'm just going to use my distress ink. You can use whatever ink you have. Like I said, this is just a set of sentiments. They're old. I'll look and see if I can still find them. I'll put a link for you in the description, but I just love using them. So let's see. How about, I don't think I did Let Life Surprise You. So I'm just going to pick the one I want to use and put it on my acrylic block and ink it up. And then I just liked having them, I'm gonna use this side of the copy dyed paper, and I just liked putting them right at the bottom, so it'll be a little bit above where the stitching or the line is. So that one turned out fine. And I'm going to, I don't have my stamp cleaner out, so I'll have to do that later. Okay, and then let's pick another one. How about Find Joy in the Ordinary? I don't think I did that one either. I like having lots of different ones. Now, again, if you don't have stamps, you could skip this. I think they would still be cute even without it. Or you could handwrite a sentiment, or again, use a sticker. Lots of options. So just kind of think about, you cut words out of a book or a magazine. That might look cute. So this is just really easy. You could type some out and print it, and then glue them, cut them out and glue them down. So many things you could do if you don't have the exact supplies that I'm working with. Okay, there we go. We're gonna put that away. So they both turned out okay. Now, when I know I'm gonna sew, what I do is I go ahead and just put a little bit of glue to hold the two pieces of book page together. And I put just a little bit of glue kind of in the center, and I sandwich it all together like this. And then I take it over to my sewing machine and I sew around, and then I know it's held together with no problem. This one, because I don't know how to video when I'm at my sewing machine, I am going to glue a little more carefully because we're going to do the faux stitching technique. So for this one, I'm going to add glue all along the edge, a little bit on the inside, and I do want it to stay together nice, so I'm just kind of lifting it up and doing half and then half. All right, that should be plenty. And then I may look at it and decide, which side I want to put the paper on. But same thing here. I'm just going to glue it down nicely. And I don't do this very carefully if I know I'm going to be sewing, because it's going to be stitched and it is not going to go anywhere. All right. So again, if you're stitching yours, sewing yours, at this point, you may want to again, you're only going to have glue kind of in the middle, so you don't have to worry about it running through your machine, but you could let it dry and then stitch around. Okay? But we're not going to do that. So we're going to set this aside and go ahead and glue our other one together. And then we're going to play with, well, I just lifted that up, so I'll just have to be careful laying it down. We're going to play with the faux stitching idea, and maybe just draw on a line and see what we think. These old vintage books have those fun illustrations, or the Reader's Digest illustrations. I think that's so funny. All right. I don't know that I want it to say fugitive killed, trooper wounded. I'm going to just tear that off. Sometimes I'm more careful than others, and people have pointed out, oh, there's a bad word. I'm so sorry when that happens. I do not do it on purpose there. It still looks fine. I try to use like bird books and flower books and Nancy Drew and the Bobbsey twins and things like that. And the Reader's Digests are usually okay, but a lot of them are mysteries. So I do try to be careful, but sometimes I'm so busy crafting, I don't even see the text on the page. So anyway, trying to be careful, but also craft and not worry. So yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think there's anything super offensive. All right. And that has happened to me. Just didn't even realize it. It was pretty bad. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. Let's see. Let me show you how, if you do have one of these, this one is really old and it says Japan on it, clover, and it has the patent. I just think that's really neat. It was my mom's. So let's do this one first. So what I did is I just decided I wanted about that 1/4 of an inch, and I'm using my ruler so that I get it nice and straight, just deciding where I'm going to start. And I'm pressing down, whoa, pretty hard. And I like it has that little groove for my finger. I also like thinking about the fact my mother held this in her hands. It makes me happy. All right, so I hope you guys can see that on the camera on both sides, and it definitely gives it a little texture as well. So now, whoops, see, and I went off, but I think that's okay, because sometimes with my stitching I go off, so we'll see what it looks like when I start playing with it. You know, sometimes you make mistakes. And we'll see. I'll try to be a little more careful. I want to, and you can line up where the holes were, because I didn't go quite as far as I wanted to. All right. Being careful. Being careful. I just think that looks so cute. And you know, even if you didn't mark it, it gives it a little extra oomph. I really think it would be okay to just leave it. Now, one thing I haven't tried, and I thought about, I definitely don't want to mess up my ink pads, but I wondered if there was a way, if I could get some ink on here and then roll it. I just think that looks so cute. So then all I did was I took, you know, my favorite brown pen, and I just started drawing little lines in between each of the holes. And again, I don't even know that it's necessary. These are the ones that are going to get covered up by the ribbon, so I probably didn't even need to do these, because we're going to put the lace down. But it just looks like the faux stitching. So I'm going to cover that with lace. I may just leave these. I kind of like them, and I think it looks fun. Now on the back, you don't see it as much because of the text. So I'm just going to run this pen, and you feel it kind of go, you know, it again, it gives it a little something something if you're not going to sew. And I like it. So I'm just going to draw these lines here. Again, none of this is perfect. It's just to give that illusion. And I think it looks good. Oh, I don't need to worry about the top because I'm going to put some lace up there. I think this I'm just going to leave. I want to do this one as well, but now I'm wondering if I should should I be brave and do a squiggly line? I don't know. I don't know, guys. All right, let's see what it looks like going on the paper. This is the Nina 90-pound cardstock, and it definitely went through, and it went through on the other side. I was pressing down. I don't think I'm brave enough to try to do a squiggly. Maybe I'll do try a squiggly on a scrap piece of paper, and we'll see if we like it. And if you guys know what this thing is called, leave me a comment and tell me. I could probably Google it and even tell me what it's used for officially. I wish I could just pick up the phone and call my mom. There are lots of days that I really miss her. And oh, it's easier if I do it this way so I can see the width. But she's been gone a long time now. This June will be, gosh, it's hard to even say that it's going to be 15 years, but it's going to be 15 years. She died in 2010. Wow, that was a long time ago. Okay. I think it looks great. This one, I'm not seeing it as much. I am going to, okay, let's just use this one, and I'm gonna be brave. So I'm gonna start, so a lot of times when I do that squiggly on my sewing machine, I start with a straight line, like that, and then I just kind of, whoa, probably just need to go slow. And then I just let the machine, I probably should pick it up. I don't know. And maybe it looks okay. I should have picked it up because each time I was on the turn, it kind of dug a little hole in my paper. But, ooh, on this side you can see it a little bit better. See the little squiggly line? So it's something to think about. It's something for me to play with. I definitely like the faux stitching plan. This one, well, for time's sake, I'm not going to sit here and draw all the lines in, even though you would see it a little bit better, but you get the idea. And here's the one that I did draw all the lines in. Okay? Very cute. All right, so the next step, this is so easy, is we are going to add some lace. And then looking at my original, my prototypes here, I like the ones that are a little, like, I like those two a lot. I like this one. When I got the skinny, it's okay, but it's not my favorite. I definitely like the wider trims, I believe. So, knowing that, I'm going to pick two that are a little bit wider. So, let me pull my pen out. And the way I do this is I just use, we'll do this one first. I just use the card each time. Oh gosh, did I put holes in my, mat? I don't think I did. I think it's just the paper transferring onto the black. That's funny. Okay, sorry. I do this. I just use this to measure it, and I make it just a smidge wider than I need, because then I just trim the edges off. And I find working, especially with the hot glue, for me, that is a little bit easier because I don't have to get it exactly lined up when I'm trying to move a little bit quickly. So let me show you what I mean. So using my hot glue, if you want to use some really good two-sided tape, or use some Fabrifix and be patient while it dries. I'm not the most patient, so I'm using the hot glue. And this is what I meant by I don't have to worry about it, being lined up perfectly, because I'm just going to then trim that off. And this is how Pam gets glue on her bone folder. I think there's other things I could use to press it down, but I definitely don't want to burn my fingers. All right, fun. And another option too is to just turn it over and pat it onto the mat, and then you can roll the glue off the mat. Oh, how cute. All right, and then I just take my scissors and we trim like that. And I have an idea, if you don't have stickers, I was going to show you, again, you could use bits and pieces from paper kits, pictures from books or magazines, but here, I'll go ahead and show you guys. I was looking at my Flowers of the Month kit that's on Etsy, and these aren't stickers, but we could cut out and keep the name of the flower and what it means in the month, or we could just cut out the flower. So I just grabbed those because they were already printed, and I'm going to use one of those on one of these. So that's exciting. Let's do, I have more of this one left. So let's cut. I just like the wide ones. I'm just liking how it looks. And again, if you don't have crocheted lace like this, you could use any kind of ribbon. You can skip it. You could do a paper border up there if you wanted to have a little border of something. So again, use your imagination. I do have a lot of these supplies. I don't get everything on Amazon. I get a lot of my supplies because it's just easy and convenient for me. So you can pop over to my Amazon storefront if you want to see like some of the things that I use, like my glue gun and the lace and those things. Ooh, I gotta be careful. All right, I hope I am in frame and you guys can see this. And another thing is you can, this is what I meant. You could just press it down onto the mat and then roll the glue off. You could come up a little bit. I think I did on one of the prototypes. So, you know, you can do different things with your lace too. All right, so cute. I like that method, I think. And then I just roll that off. And I need to vacuum. Okay. And if you want more glue, you don't want it lifting up like that, just glue it on down. I'm going to leave mine flapping. Okay. And I didn't ink these. If you want to, you know, ink around the edges. I think I will probably off camera go back and at least on this one and add the little lines. This one is standing out to me pretty well. I hope you guys can see these. Okay, so now we're going to decorate the back. So we'll do one with these, and I'll link this kit for you guys too. I've got the daisy, the lily of the valley, and roses. I think I'm going to do the roses, and I'm going to just do an easy cut. So I think I just want the flower image with the stem, just not the words. So if you got this kit, this would be another use for those cards. Look how sweet. Or if you have other paper kits, scrapbook paper, things like that, look at the images and you can decorate them. You can also just leave it plain. You could put another piece of neutral paper so you have journaling on both sides. That would be nice. These are going to look so cute tucked in a pocket of a journal, added to a page. Could also, instead of using like just regular writing paper, you could write somebody a little note and stick it in the mail to them on these. So, okay, so that was showing you if you're cutting it out. And then these are some of the different stickers that I was using. And I pulled out some butterflies. I had these out from my video the other day. I was also thinking one of these flowers would be pretty. And some of the ones, and I don't have them anymore, I've already sold them in my Etsy shop, but some of the ones that were on Instagram had these really fun big floral stickers. And I found some similar ones on Amazon, and they're in my shop. But those I actually got at Michael's, but years ago. So you can also look at your local craft stores for different stickers and things. And especially when they're on sale and you have a coupon, you can get some good deals. Oh, look at that. And see, that's that line that I drew. And it really does, when you just kind of glance at it, it looks like it's been stitched. And it feels like it because of the little holes. Oh, yeah. I'm happy with them. I like them. So those are the two we made. Again, make this your own. There are so many things you could do to change this project up. And really, again, by making them different sizes, using different papers, just so much fun. All right. I hope you guys like it. I hope you'll let me know if you make some. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so you can get notified when I release new content. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you next time.